So, I've got my foot rail. I've got it padded on that end, and I'm going to lift up this tenon and place it in the mortise so it'll stay there. And then I've got to get the next post. I've got the foot rail set into the mortise, just the bottom of it set there. Now I'm ready to put on the last post. Make sure so this is where it'd be good to have a second person over at that joint making sure that it is going to stay in there. I'm going to get the bottom of this in and hit that in. That went in nicely. Now I'm going to bolt, that one's already bolted in, so that post isn't going anywhere. Even if this rail was to drop out, you've got your spotter over there making sure that's okay. So get this one bolted in so that, you know, if you're playing over there, you don't want this post to take a dive. Washer on there. The pliers, the needle nose pliers really help with that nut. You know, you can do it by hand, but it's tricky. If you have small fingers, you may find it's very easy. Get one of your kids to hold it. Okay, so that's snug. I've got to get this bolt in, but I'm not going to tighten it down because I've got to spread the posts for that last joint. But I do need to get a bolt on here. Make sure it doesn't fall apart. And I'm going to leave that a little bit, you know, 1/16 to an 1/8 shy. It allows things to move around a little bit. And now I'm going to put in the last rail. I want to be careful. I don't want to scratch the post as I bring this into position. I'm going to get the head in there first a little bit. And again, having your spotter, it's a great time to use it. Your spotter. Spread that out. Tap those in. Now we can bolt the last two joints. And once these are snugged up, then we'll put on the top cross pieces. Now any of these joints can just be tightened right up. And after you get this last bolt in, go back. Oh, I already did that one. This is the one we need to do. After you get this one in, go back and tighten up all of the others. tighten that right up. You don't have to crank the heck out of these, but snug them right up. You don't have to lean on it. And you may find, if the bed was to loosen up in the future, it would probably, if it loosened up, if I delivered the bed in the summer, in the winter it's possible it could loosen up a little bit. So everything's tight now. So this pencil post bed is all waxed and all finished. So just putting together the final parts, the cross pieces up top, and those go in with metal pins. Metal pins get placed into the hole at the top of the post. These pins have threads on one end and solid on the other. I put the thread part down. It doesn't thread into anything. They're just bolts that are cut off. And the side pieces go on first. And they go with the joint facing up. This is labeled right foot, RF. And this is labeled RH, right head. And it also says up here. So that face needs to go up. So you want to use two people here. I do this a lot, so I'm going to do it myself. But two people standing on chairs is the best way to do this. You don't want to drop it if it was already hooked in, because you'll split that end. You can see there's a little forgiveness in the, I can have it at a little bit of an angle. See, when I bring it up, it drops down. Drop that in. Then we need our cross pieces. One's marked head HR down, and then HL down. So these will go out here. And these ones, this joint, because you're dealing with the joint as well as the pin, I like to get up high for this one. FR down, so foot right. Okay, that's in. Now we need to put in the slats, the slat system. So on a king size bed, you don't have this on a queen or a full, but on a king, I've got a foot to head slat with a foot post in the middle. And you fit this underneath the cleats. And this is a nice place to have two people. I'm going to use a clamp and clamp that on one end and just line up the hole so I can see through it at the other end, and then make sure this one is lined up. Then there's a bolt, and bolt with a lock washer. Drop the bolt through and put the washer on and tighten it up with a Phillips screwdriver. You can grab the other end with a wrench, but you really don't need to. You can hold that because the lock washer keeps it from spinning. Then I can take that clamp off and get the other side in. So all of the slats now, well, you can see this doesn't reach the floor. So there's an adjustable foot, and I'm going to adjust that right down till it touches the floor, and then it stops. When I put it together, I like to have that up so that there's no risk of it hitting. Now all the cross slats just set right in place on their pegs, and they're all numbered 1 through 9 on this bed. And the number 1 is labeled head. Labeled head and has a number 1 on it, and the notch in the end just fits right around the peg. And those are going to be a little, the mattress holds those down so they're not going to rattle around. This is number 4. Written here. You can skip one, but don't skip too many, because then you'll have to reach across. I used to strap all these slats together in 2 bunches, but they were so heavy. This way is much easier. Just one piece at a time. And that's it. Showing the detail of the notched end of the slats. Just fits over the peg. All of the slats are labeled so that there's no confusion. On this one we've got 9 slats. 9 slats, and labeled foot for number 9 and head for number 1.